Are you ready?
The meaning of life is progression. So if something doesn't progress, it doesn't live. It's up to you. If you want to keep living, you got to keep going. I'm only going to speak on things that I know of.
Tapped in with your mind, body, and spirit. It's
Know
good
your
to see
role
you, my
and
nigga.
shut
I know it's been a
your
minute.
mouth.
Yo, it's Know Your Role, and we back another week, fresh out the hospital, in here, we're ready. This has been a crazy day, man. You guys have no idea, but before we get into that, I want to make sure that we introduce you to everybody that we have at our table. First up, we've got the man of wit, charisma, who's always quick on his toes, and he never slips, no matter how loud the conversation goes. This is the one and only Soze.
That rhyme. Let's go. As always, thank you for the fabulous intro, Ro.
Yes, sir.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Yeah, yesterday.
You look
Yes,
fantastic. Look fantastic. Thank you for everything. I wanted to hit a topic first. We not pulling up the same, okay? You getting some money. You getting some major chili. You in a chili cook-off every Wednesday. And I just after the show, please, I would like to have a quick conversation about how you getting this munyan.
I got you. We'll put you on game so that way everybody gonna eat, man.
My dog. He pulling up very nicely.
Thank you. Yes, I came a little snazzy. You got the chains on, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta have the Jesus one.
Yeah.
Last Supper.
That's the whole
Right.
table.
Absolutely.
That's the Nas joint.
So next up, we've got the very talented artist. She's also a rapper who has several albums and EPs that you can find online right now. And brilliant as ever, we've got Phoenix.
Let's go.
What's going on? Welcome back. Ready to give y'all a hot topic this week, the show. Tune in and we appreciate y'all. Let's keep it rolling. Bringing that heat. It's your girl, Phoenix.
And we already know we've got two of the podcast legends themselves who are basically the 2001-2002 Lakers. So before we get started with that, we got to introduce you to the Rick Fox of the team, the man that's always keeping up to date with whatever is on the internet. You can't catch him off guard. This is the one and only Devon True.
What up?
What's going on, Devon?
We here, live, and chilling, living.
Man, I feel it, big chilling. And then we also have Kobe Bryant of Off the Grid Network, the man who is an analyst when it comes to coincidences, and he will call it out every single time. The one and only Maverick Approach.
Yes, sir. What it do? What's going on? We back at it.
Nothing much, man. Hey, we're about to go ahead because we're going to kick off this episode a little bit different than the other ones because there's a lot that we want to discuss, so we're going to get right into it. Before that, just wanted to let you guys know this is the dedication that we got. Everybody made sure to pull up, and I thank you guys. You know, you guys took time out of your day so we could do this.
No problem.
And I was in the hospital, and I got myself discharged so that way I can make sure to get here in time. But hey,
You good though now,
show
right?
goes
You
on.
good?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm not contagious
You back,
or
you back
nothing.
in action?
Yeah, we back in action.
Okay.
Good enough to make the show.
Good enough to make it here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes,
So-
sir. Yes, sir.
So we're going to go ahead and kick off with theories. Now, the first theory I want to talk about are, Mandela effects. You guys are familiar with that. Something that felt like you remember it this way, but now everyone else in the world remembers it a different way. So one I'd like to talk about is Sinbad was in a genie movie. It's called Shazam. There's a picture of it. People are saying the movie never happened and it doesn't exist. Do you remember this movie at all?
So I get confused between Kazam, which was Shaq being a genie, and then obviously I do slightly remember Shazam. I remember a film around this area, but I couldn't like give you a line. I remember there was like a young white kid that he was with or something like that. Yes. So I vaguely do remember this. Yes, I'll say yes.
Okay, Phoenix.
Heck yeah. That's my recollection as well. Like both. I remember Shazam, Kazam.
Yeah.
I was a kid when they came out. So to hear that people are saying they don't remember it, it doesn't exist.
They say it never happened. Sinbad says it.
No.
Sinbad says it never happened.
Really?
He says it never happened.
Liar.
So, Mav, Devon, what you guys think? You remember this?
Sinbad full of shit. Sinbad full of shit. It happened. It went down. I remember watching it. I saw it.
A lot of people said they saw it because I posted on this. And
Okay.
basically, people were saying not only they remember it, but they remember the parallels between the Shaq movie and the Sinbad movie,
Right.
and they were saying like, oh, these are similar. So I remember this one. Like, people like have total recall when it comes to this. But when they say it doesn't exist, it always existed only because if it's a parallel universe, and that's what I think it is, because when you're thinking about things like CERN, they're playing with time, they're playing with the hydrogen collider where they're, colliding atoms together. So I think that if it didn't exist here, it exists somewhere else, and now, it's overlap. So I think time is not linear when it comes to what we're seeing. Put it like this, put it like time. Time is like layers of cloth, right? Parallel universes, which they've already documented, say that they do exist. So you pour paint on top of the cloths and they bleed over into each other. So that's what we're seeing right now, to where, the times are collapsing on each other. So Bernstein Bears, Jiffy, all these different things.
Yep. Pikachu's tail.
Monopoly
Tinkerbell.
Man.
Yep.
The monocle.
Man.
You have the Monopoly Man without the monocle. What's his name? Curious George. He never had a tail.
Yep. Never had a tail. And he's a monkey. And monkeys have tails. That's the definition
what
of a
I'm saying.
monkey. If it doesn't have a tail, it's an ape. Curious George was a monkey.
That's what I'm saying.
How about that?
But
So-
they were saying we were going to collide with a different universe. Remember they were saying that about 10 years ago?
Right.
And we kept hearing that, and then they just stopped talking about it.
Right.
So the collision happened. So we already have been intercepted with another parallel universe, and we had to slip through it. And I think through that filter, some of it got caught on. I don't think we're still merged. I think it already passed through. That's why some Mandela effects go back and forth.
Right.
Where you'll see the fruit of the loom, and then it had the cornucopia behind it.
Right.
And then they said it never happened. But then for a short period of time, everybody's agreed that it did happen. And then it went back to it didn't happen.
Right. Well, if you remember, in 2012, that's when they fired up the hydrogen collider.
Yeah.
And then that's when everything got weird. And then they made a movie about what? 2012, the world ending. So the world could have ended and another one could have began.
And that's what's also very interesting, is that the world as we live in still has certain effects that do also still play on time in different within it of itself. There's an effect, not necessarily that was recently discovered, but an effect that was discovered that perceiving and going farther into the future and future events can also have an effect on past events, not necessarily your current, but also can distort your past events in and of themselves. So on top of that, just being a part of each reality, those also carry that same bleed effect of those layers going into, behind, and forward into any action and every action.
It makes a lot of sense because, okay, so for cinema, they're always trying to prep us on what they're doing behind the scenes.
Right.
Most of Marvel's movies right now are about that same collision that you're talking about, going so far into the future and altering something that it destroys the past.
Yes.
The Deadpool movie was talking about it.
Yep.
And then the next Avengers movie is going to be on that. Doomsday is going to be talking about the universes colliding.
Yes.
Isn't it funny that all these movies as of late have to do with time, parallel universes, and then they come out with studies saying, oh, not only it exists, but they just found a universe that's parallel to ours, but runs backwards in time. This is documented. They did studies in Antarctica, and they found these particles that react in a way, in theory, that not only there's a parallel universe, but they discovered one that runs back in time. That's normal to them, but to us, it's backwards.
So it's almost like a Benjamin Button universe.
Exactly, like you're born old, die young type of situation.
Right. So we at one point cross each other, and then we start getting older and they start getting younger. But there's one point in time where we're,
exactly. So that's the thing. And they always show you in the movies. I always say that. They always show you in the movies. I watch movies with a different lens because the DOD has an entertainment film department. So they work closely with Hollywood. Film directors, script writers. They work closely with Hollywood to show you, to depict things, to take in or out of movies to show you what's happening.
So that's funny that you say that with the movies, because I analyze some movies, especially thinking about the backgrounds of the companies that are producing it and who's the owners and what's going on at the time frame.
Right.
And rewatching now, Monsters, Inc. feels like a whole different movie that seemed like a message where they're describing Epstein Island.
Monsters, Inc.
Here we go.
So
Y'all ready for this one?
Y'all just speaking on this. Here we go. The frequency.
But that's what I'm saying. So like Monsters, Inc., you think about it. They got the I on the middle of the M, like the Illuminati. And then on top of that, to hide the fact that they got the Illuminati so in your face, the only person that's in the movie that has one eye, Mike Wazowski, every picture of him, they blur his face out. They put a barcode over his face. Even like at Disneyland, if you go, they put a tree in front of his face. They keep blocking out his eyes so you focus only on the single eye of the M in Monsters, Inc.
Right.
And the movie is talking about them trying to make profit off of kidnapping children.
Yes.
So going parallel, if there's a disgruntled worker at Disney, when Pixar was about to get bought out by Disney, this is a way to kind of point at them and say, these are the people kidnapping kids, just so that way they can keep making money.
So is that social reinforcement?
Predictive programming. So
Yes.
they show you through the movies, right? So like basically, Monsters Inc. What did they do to power the city?
Screams.
Fear.
Yes,
Yeah.
scare the kids.
Yeah.
What does that sound like?
Adrenochrome.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, you know.
There we go. Come on, we just saw this together. This is it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But now, what's a theory that you got off the top of your head?
Well, going into Disney, just rolling off of that. So you guys know the movie Frozen, right?
Yeah,
So you know why they created that movie?
No.
yeah, because Walt Disney, when he was dead, the rumor went around that he got himself frozen.
Yes.
I heard that.
And people started looking into it further and further. And the more they looked into it, they realized they had to stop this search. So they created Disney's Frozen. And now when you Google about that, that's the only thing
Yeah,
that
when you
pops
type
up.
in Disney Frozen, the movie comes up, not him being frozen.
How about that?
The version.
Yeah, and that's been kind of a I guess we'll say a theory for nearly like 10, 20 years that he had at least his brain was on ice.
Well, that's the whole reason why they did the Futurama with everybody's head cut off. That was making fun of Walt Disney doing that. So now they say it didn't happen.
Wait, that didn't happen too?
No,
Come on, guys. Give us something. Give us something.
Yeah, but it's real though, because like even the guy who going into like crypto, because I'm big in crypto,
Yeah.
the guy who received the first Bitcoin transaction, Hal Finney, he's actually frozen in Scottsdale, Arizona right now. So they put him on ice literally because he died from ALS and he got frozen, and later on they're gonna thaw him out when they have a cure for ALS.
How about that?
So was he still like his heart was beating while he was being frozen?
Yeah.
Isn't it true that they say that they also have to have like a kind of like a tube that goes into the blood so that way it keeps circulating even while they're frozen?
Probably. I mean, it reminds me, going back to the movies, Demolition Man.
Nice. Snipes.
I don't know if you've seen that movie. That's an old school movie.
Yeah,
How old boy
Wesley
gets
Snipes.
frozen, and then like he goes way into the future, gets thawed out, and it's completely different civilization. Futurama, Demolition Man, like they're always showing us.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
We're living in that now, by the way.
That hey, you can say
Yeah,
that again,
facts.
Devon.
Yeah.
Terry Crews.
We're
Common
living in
sense
that.
ain't common anymore.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I mean, I don't know if y'all like seen like these like I don't know if I'm pretty sure ain't nobody Gen Z in here, but if they are, I don't give a fuck. But my thing is, I think Gen Z is a generation of psychopaths.
Oh,
Break it down.
the whole generation.
The whole
You know
generation.
what? I see how you can come to that conclusion, but so for example, I got my son, he's in Gen Z. And the pandemic really changed those kids because this is them going from elementary school to middle school. So that transition to being a fourth grader and having recess, and now, you know, the rest of it was online at home. You go to school the next time and you got 6 classes to walk through.
Right.
And it threw them off.
Something did shift after
Yeah.
the pandemic during that time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree that something happened.
Yeah.
Glitch in the matrix, like you said, predictive programming, something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
These kids now, like even things like what just happened with Charlie Kirk, a lot of people were celebrating that he died.
Yeah, that's sick.
And it was Gen Z, right? So like these people that are coming up in the social media era, like I'm a millennial, so we were analog and digital, right? So we still went outside and played and all that stuff. But now these kids, they're completely disconnected from, you know, the human element. Like they grew up with a screen. Nothing is actually real to them, if that makes sense. Like everything is like through a screen. So even when something's happening in person, it's almost like they, you know, literally doing it for the gram, right? So like
Right.
they're living through these social media apps and nothing's real. So when somebody dies, who cares? I'm glad he's dead. I'm like, yo, they have no heart no more.
Think about it. It's in the music too. If you think
Yeah.
about the music, you know, I'm smoking on this person, I'm smoking on that person. It's like,
Yeah, this pack, that
what's,
pack.
what, like, when was that cool?
Right.
All my friends are dead. Everybody's dead.
Yeah,
and you're
everybody's
repeating those
is.
things. Yeah, you're sowing seeds.
Because it used to be an honorable thing. Like when Tupac passed, people were saying that he got turned into ashes and they put him inside of a joint and his people smoked him. And it was a code of honor when they were talking about, smoking in remembrance. And that's why they talk about it in How High. And it's not like a frowned upon thing, but now people are doing it as like, oh, I do this to my op. Like we shot him down because we smoking that pack. That's wrong.
Look at the whole thing with King Von and people like going to each other's graves and trying to dig them up and all this crazy shit. Like this
it's demonic.
It's never a thing. Like it's weird now.
Yeah, and people aren't even catching themselves when they're in the midst of just saying something that's so heartless. Like you said, this is still somebody's father, somebody's husband, and they watch this go down, regardless of how you feel about the situation.
Right.
But what blows my mind, so my other son is Generation Alpha.
Okay.
And I was like, that's dope because the next generation is cooked. You're going to be Generation Beta. That's awful.
Yeah, nobody want to be beta.
I think it's going to be the
Balance,
opposite,
right?
But Generation Alpha, they're more like us. Like they're passing notes in school. And they're walking around and they're playing again. They're playing basketball. They're
They even
running
have
around.
dumb phones. They're going back to the dumb phones right now. So they're saying like the next generation is getting rid of like the iPhones and Androids, and they're going into the dumb phone again because they're so like over it. So I think to that point, the next generation is going to skip over that whole thing. It's always like the next generation that skips, right? So, and I think that the generation before us, it was a lot of, psychopaths and, serial killers and whatnot. So it's that, next generation that always skips. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, like when you think about like, you got the 60s where the hippie era kind of started right after the civil rights movement. And then it leads into the 70s, the disco era. And so that's most of our grandparents, when they were in their prime partying and kicking it, was in the 70s during disco.
Right.
So what did our parents end up becoming? The rebellion group, know, in the 80s. And then the 90s was the 80s, just bigger, badder.
Yes.
And so that's why everything was promoted to be enlarged, like big gulps and stuff like that. Then we get to 2000s, and this is the technology years, and it's just kept going in that cycle. There's no more keeping up with the cause.
But with all that being said, and this is for the room, is this like we're talking about it as if this is a step back, but isn't this always seemingly the way forward? That, I think we're looking in this conversation, maybe some sort of perpetual forward motion. And if we listen to ourselves, these are the exact same things that people were saying in the 50s about the music, the 60s about the music and the culture and, the technology. Isn't this just the way forward? And this is for just sending that up.
I mean, I think that's debatable if it's forward or not, indeed. But so, for example, the kids now who are disassociated, it's mainly because they get to play games where you get to destroy and kill as many people as you want to. If we were playing GoldenEye 007, it didn't really tap into you that you're just murking everybody.
But maybe that's the same not tapping into it. Mav's a millennial, just like I am.
Yeah.
We started off on GTA Vice City doing mindless shit.
Okay.
You catch me on Grand Theft Auto nowadays, I'm customizing a car. I'm doing so many different things.
Well, you can buy a house and get a nightclub and stuff,
So
but
it's I think these conversations very valid because there are those of us that aren't very sensible in our approaches to our gaming or life itself. However, I do believe firmly that these things are distorted in a way where we age, we get wiser, and it is sometimes difficult to view backwards through such a wide lens or even a wise lens to the point and actually view it correctly. Because to your point, these rambunctious ages or these rebellious ages that should be fitting and should be suitable, we are now looking at those things as if there is an issue present.
well, they're talking about demonic purposes and
Weren't
some of
they
it's like
saying
Labubu.
that? Weren't they saying that
But this is
about
like
Little Richard?
literally demons, though. Like
It
they're
feels
like
different. Like,
Yeah,
it
they
feels
saying that
like
about-
energy
Don't feel the
harvesting.
same.
Weren't they saying that about Little Richard?
I can hear that. But okay, so let me ask you this question:
I'm listening.
just for the technology's sake, if GTA would have fallen in the hands of Charles Manson, do you think that he would have ever continued on and say the influence came from the game, or would he just do this already?
That's a great question. Great question. Charles Manson was a musician, so I think he would have still dove into the music. However, I do believe that there's certain paths that are dissuaded by you being able to exercise certain strange tendencies in a safe space.
That's fair.
And I'll leave it at that. To Maverick's point about us all being psychopaths, all of us are a 20 KD on Call of Duty. That's kind of an issue. That's actually kind of a problem. All of us are catching, bodies daily and desensitized to just the sheer shock of you hearing a round go off and getting dropped every 3 seconds.
That's why people start getting that itch. And that's what I think is scary for some of these kids. But Devon, you got a theory, man?
I just think history repeats itself. I think that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
You got those same psychopaths you had in the 80s, and they were glorified. They were fantasized about, and they made stories, and they people were writing these people letters, and it was, I feel like it's repeating itself right now, to be honest.
I just feel like it's different. I say that only because it's so in your face now, and there's no like decoding it or anything.
Yeah.
People are saying like, hey, I sold my soul. I did this. I did that. Like, it's very in your face. People are actually doing rituals in public. They're like so upfront with it. And it's a different kind of energy to where it's just, maybe it was the same, but I just think it's more amplified. And then maybe it's because we can see everything now too. At the same time, the world can watch everything all at once, right?
Simultaneously.
So that's another thing too. So it may seem, amplified or whatnot, but it's just that we are seeing it a lot more. But I think it's a combination of two. Like we're seeing it, but also it's like people are doubling down because, clout is a sickness too. People are doing shit for clout.
Yeah, do it for the mind.
A lot of stuff is going down right now because there's master trolls out there who are building a name just by bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And people just want to be famous just to be famous. There's no end goal. There's no mission. To the point of GoldenEye, there was a mission in that game, right? So you're killing the bad guys, however you see it. But the mission is to save the world, okay? What's happening now is shoot them up, kill. Like there's no rhyme or reason to anything. And that's reflected in the music. Even, back in the day to where we're talking about, gangster rap and all this other stuff, they're reporting what they're seeing in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. Versus these kids are coming up now. There's not so much, of a lot of kids are not growing up in poverty. They're growing up in middle class and, they have, nice homes and whatnot, but they're hustling backwards. They're going to, smoke the ops and all this other stuff. And, I think that's highly glorified right now, so
there's a promotion for it. I mean, especially once you see somebody else did it and they're making money from it, of course you're going to be like, well, I could do the same thing too.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so it's unfortunate, but I get what you're saying. It's kind of like when people say like, okay, you see a blue car because it's in your mind because we just talked about you want to buy a blue car. Right. So now it pops out in your face more.
The recency effect.
Yeah. But instead, if you look at it like, okay, but what if it's both true where, I did say that and it is on my mind, but now there also legitimately are a lot of blue cars on the road.
Cars. Yeah, I dig it.
Kind of like Inception. Finding that idea in your mind and then reinforcing it over and over again.
Yeah.
And then people want to kind of destiny swap with other people. They don't come from that environment, but they're like, I want that life.
Yeah.
So they're getting close enough to it, but trying to figure out how to transfer their current place to what they really love, which may be completely different than what they were raised or what they're used to.
Would you say that's like manifesting?
Sure.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
And there's a false reality being built too. Like nobody's actually living in reality anymore because, again, these kids, Gen Z, they're seeing flashy cars and people that's super fit and, edited photos. Nobody's seeing anything real anymore, right? So like every photo you see is edited. So you're not seeing reality on any level. And now we have AI that can recreate anything, deep fakes and all this other stuff. So it's like nothing is real anymore. We're so in a synthetic world right now. It's building a false reality to where when these kids are really, going outside, their social skills are shot. They can't talk. They don't have any sense of reality. And that's why they're so, they're like psychopaths because they have a huge disconnect from the human element when it comes to
they're like
people.
empathy too.
But Maverick, doesn't that become the reality? doesn't that become the new level of reality? Is that at one point in time, it was the TV putting on 5 pounds or taking off 5 pounds, and then reality became distorted in that aspect? Doesn't it become that level of adaptation to what is quote, quote, real and false within that reality? Doesn't that have to play into it?
I would say when it's technology driven, then it's a little different, because when you have, again, these filtered, like Photoshop, pictures, and you meet the person, you're like, who the hell is this?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, at some point, even if you're saying this is reality, you're going to have to step outside at some point and look this person in the face and be like, okay, that's not them.
I had a friend of mine, he introduced his girl to everybody and we hung out, the whole table. And at the end of the night,
That's a crazy
you
segue,
already know
bro.
where this is going.
That's a crazy segue.
So he goes and asks us, he goes, hey, what do you guys think about her? And I was like, oof.
Oh wow.
Like, I'm sorry.
Oof.
Like, yeah, like she was like kind of rough. And he goes, that's what she looks like here, but look on the phone. Like, this is what she looks like on Instagram.
Oh, God.
And I said, if you got to pull up what she looks like on Instagram to justify that she's ugly.
That's twisted, bro. That's what I mean.
Tweaked out.
Tweaked
People love
out.
to lie.
Right. That's the reality we in now.
So he's so concerned with how she looks on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, ain't she bad on Instagram? Yo, anybody can be bad on Instagram.
Guys, with all due respect, if y'all seen Norma Jean Baker, okay, come out of JFK's office, makeup smeared, hair all messed up, okay, you'd feel one type of way. But if you seen Marilyn Monroe on the centerfold holding her dress down, you'd be enthralled, okay? I'm drawing the line there, and I'm leaving it there.
I don't know the direction of where the line is going.
People like to lie. That's what he's saying,
Oh,
right?
It's been going on for a long time, guys. It's been going on for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
She might not seem as bad to you, but there's a something there.
You're right.
All right?
Okay, there's a seat
something.
for every ass.
Yeah. Ouch. That was it. See, I shouldn't have brought Merlin into it. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have brought Merlin into
Or
it.
lack thereof.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, but I get what you're saying now. I get it. Like, it's people are going to hype things up one way or another, and especially whatever is a better version of it, that's the one that they're going to rock with. And even as a viewer, people are like, "I'll fight for this is how it is," just because I like imagining it as such.
Yep.
Thus is why nostalgia can seem so polarizing, because you and I, Mav, everybody, every man in this room can agree GoldenEye was just the magnum opus, or the maverick opus, as I'll call it.
My kids say it's trash, and I was like,
It's garbage. It's
Right.
garbage, and it's not garbage. It meant everything to us. It's pixelated. Big head mode was insane, but it's like no. This
but
looks
we just
terrible.
went from 16-bit to
Yes.
jumping into this. So I'm showing my kids, I'm like, this was the graphics then.
Yeah,
and they're like,
see?
trash.
And that's you. That's you pulling up your phone and saying, "No, she was bad.
There you go. All right,
She's
there you go.
fine.
You're
She's
right.
really fine."
I dig it. I feel that.
His girl was pixelated.
Is that-
The broad
she
pixelated.
was
dog.
pixelated in the Instagram.
But I think that the games were harder back in the day too.
Yeah.
Like,
Sonic used to be tough.
yeah, like
Yeah.
from Nintendo to Genesis to
Dreamcast.
64.
High level Tetris is still. You got to be genius. You gotta
How
be
about the
genius.
damn Oregon Trail? I'll take y'all ass back to PC.
Damn.
Your
Oh,
ox
she
kept
said
dying
Oregon
and shit.
Trail.
You're like, nah, come back. You're
yeah.
right. Syphilis,
That
somebody
and
died.
Minefield,
Right.
or what was it?
Minefield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minesweep. There
Yes,
we
sir.
go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Those computer games, man, and we was having fun.
We sure were.
Yes.
The games now, I don't know. Like I don't game anymore. I just don't see any rhyme or reason to them.
That's how I was until I tried Spider-Man on PS5. You got to play that. Change your life.
Okay, no, I did play that. It is dope, but it just doesn't feel the same. I think that they're focusing more on how realistic it looks versus like the storyline and how hard it is and thinking. Because other stuff, see, here's what makes a perfect game. Like Resident Evil is like my all-time favorite game.
Voted.
Besides GoldenEye and Resident Evil, my favorite two. Now, the thing is, I loved about Resident Evil is that the puzzles, they were so hard. It made you think,
Yes.
like, damn, I have to do this and that and X, Y, and Z. These games now don't have any puzzles.
It's also the music too.
the music, the scoring, the
It's
feeling.
like the way it feels.
Sonic has some cold music.
Yeah.
Like, if you really pay attention to it,
Yeah.
some of those
Yeah.
songs were actually just redemptions of Whitney Houston's music, Michael Jackson's music.
Well, Michael Jackson had a hand in that.
yeah,
I
the
did not
Sonic
know that.
3. He ended up
Wow.
I did
producing
not know
it.
that.
Yeah, the actual shoes in Sonic, they were mimicked after him. That's why they gave him red shoes.
Yo.
Right, and that's why they got the
Classic.
strap over it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he scored it and all that stuff. He was heavy in the games.
Yeah, he was also in the comic books. He was going to buy Marvel in 97 or 95.
Wait, hold on. Theory. Here you go. Well, not even a theory. So he was talking about it, about buying Marvel, like doing theme parks and all this stuff,
Yep.
right? Then what happens? Like a year or two later,
Allegations?
Was it the-
allegations.
Okay,
again.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Pepsi fire. Continue, please.
No, so his first charge where I think that was in like what 92, 93 or something. That happened because he bought the catalog back in 88 from Sony ATV.
Mm-hmm.
He bought it like for like 30, 40 million cash.
And the Epstein files.
Well, yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But he bought that catalog, right? Cash. Blockbuster deal that's never been done before. He owns so much music, it's ridiculous. Future artists from
He
Beyonce,
also bought the Beatles, too.
Beatles, Eminem, everybody.
Eminem's cat.
Then gets hit with the charges. Okay, that's one. Then later on, he's talking about buying Marvel, right? There was a secret phone call that they leaked and it was like, oh yeah, I'm about to buy Marvel. We could do comic books and movies and, you know, from the comic books and all this other stuff, right? Then, right after that, not too short after, he gets hit with the allegations. And on top of that, at the same time, this is a twofer. The reason he was in, you know, that whole mess is because of that. And Epstein's case, his first case was going on at the same time that nobody was talking about.
Okay.
So the very first time Epstein was being pressed about what he was doing that's crazy.
It was at the same time.
Early 90s.
But there was another thing that was going on with Michael Jackson before, even then in the 70s, where he got kicked off the first time he was trying to buy his way into being in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie. So they ended up, you know, obviously not giving him the role, but he did a whole soundtrack for it. So he wrote songs for different segments. And the Oompa Loompa song was a part of one of the songs that he wrote.
Yo.
But
That's crazy.
That's
I
the
never
big
knew that.
soundtrack I want to hear. Like if I can listen to one soundtrack that's hidden, I want to hear what the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory Michael Jackson soundtrack is.
Damn.
And then shortly after that, they shot him with a laser.
What?
Maverick, speak on it. Did they hit Mike with a laser? Yes or no?
So the laser you're talking about was the Pepsi thing?
No. So Dick Gregory speaks on this. Dick Gregory says that Michael Jackson didn't die from Dr. Conrad Murray. Dr. Conrad Murray did about a year and a half in jail or something for I guess medical malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
He said on like, and you can look this up. There's like singe marks around Michael Jackson's bedding area and his pillow, like dark singe marks, and there's a pool of blood around his white shirt. And Dick Gregory says that they zapped that motherfucker with a laser, bro, from space.
That's a wild theory.
Rest in peace, Dick Gregory. But
And
yeah,
Michael.
Yeah.
yeah, and Michael.
Never heard that
Sorry,
one.
I should have let it back.
I never heard
Never
that.
heard that
never
one.
heard
That's some Marvel shit
Hit
right
him
there.
with
I was hoping,
direct
man.
energy weapon is
man, I
crazy.
was hoping you heard of that one. I was hoping you heard that one. Yeah, Dick Gregory.
I never heard that one.
Dick Gregory's
I
one
heard
of the
Michael
only
still
people-
alive.
I have not heard that.
I heard that. So I seen a video that they were saying like when they drove with the coroners, and someone followed one of
And
the
he hopped
trucks.
out.
Yeah, and he hopped out. It was by the by like the UMC or something.
Are you
Or
saying this
it was
happened in
a hospital.
Vegas?
Did it? Where did he died in California?
No, yeah, it was
yeah.
in,
They said it was outside of a hospital though.
Bel
Like, you
Air.
could see like the
Yeah, he was at UCLA.
through the fence.
Yeah, he was at UCLA. Yeah.
We went down there.
Yeah, we went down there.
So Phoenix, you got a theory?
We kind of talked about it, the Mandela effect.
Okay.
But kind of circling back on energy harvesting. What if slavery was energy harvesting? And they said 400 years, 2019 would be the expiration of that contract. And now the sins of the father are returning back to the land. So
That makes sense because I thought before the Bermuda Triangle is almost in the same placement as where the slave trade was. So if those waters were cursed because the first disappearances that were recorded of the Bermuda Triangle was in 1846, and I think the year before that was when they freed the slaves. So right after that, it's like they put a spell or curse on it to say that these waters will not support slavery again. So that's why people start going missing.
Yo, I got a different theory on the triangle. Maverick, you hitting that?
Pete with the steal, puts it down. And then apparently had something to say to George.
Yeah, what an
assist from Gary Payton.
He was a nightmare. He had those long arms. He was quick. He was fast.
Go ahead, you gotta go.
Oh, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I'm not even touching it today. I'm
Calling
not
the
touching that
Lakers
today.
earlier, right?
I'm not touching that
Right?
today.
Yeah, he just gonna throw the ball.
Nope.
No,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
look behind his
Yeah,
back.
no, look, I got a night ring.
I'm not touching that. Good man. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
Hey, no, but I do got another Mandela effect. When you guys seen Toy Story, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this picture here, there's these grapes in the scene when they're they're
Sid's
trying to
house.
get
Is this
Woody.
Sid's house?
This is Sid's house.
Okay,
so
yeah,
that's his sister, Hannah. And she's going to open the door when they had the muscle man pushing the doorbell.
Right.
And there's these random grapes that are there. And they say they have always been there. Did that look off to you, or do you
It
remember
looks
the
very
grapes?
off
Yeah,
to
that's
me.
weird.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Did you guys see with the Toy Story where they're talking about prostitution in here?
Oh my God.
Okay, so if you have, well, he probably doesn't have the picture, but there is a toy that has legs
Oh, the hooker.
and it has a hook,
Okay, yeah.
but the legs are like a streetwalker,
Yes.
and then it's like a hooker.
But the baby, not the baby head, right?
No, not the baby head,
Nope,
but
it's a fishing.
the
It's a
dog.
fishing
Two
pole on
legs.
two legs.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
yeah.
two
Was it a
legs,
Barbie?
but they're like streetwalker legs, right?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
like a hose legs, and then it's
Is that got
Like a
hose
whole
legs?
leg.
Hose
It's a
legs.
Crazy word.
It was
and
whole
then
bar.
it has a hook, and I was like, that's weird. And I was like, oh, that's a hooker.
You
Yeah.
knew that back then,
I'm
man?
sent to you right now.
I saw it later on. I was like, because
Okay.
you know how you watch stuff
Right.
later on and you see it, you're like, wait a minute,
Yes.
wait a damn minute. That's
There she is.
there it
Oh,
is.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it
Okay,
is. That's
yeah.
a hooker, literally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Yeah, these people are sick.
I
Doesn't
heard
even
that
have a
there's
fishing
something for the
reel.
other ones too, but that being a hooker was clever. That was
Right in the
Yeah,
middle, though,
but
right?
they always do this in the movies, like especially with Disney and Pixar.
oh, the
like,
baby's a one-eyed monster. That's what they said.
Okay,
Oh,
Like
that,
a
that can see that.
like
Yeah,
a for a
that's
Johnson.
Yo,
you know, the
Like
one-eyed
Johnson.
monster.
Kids
Yeah.
Good Johnson. This
It's
is a
kids'
kid
movies.
movie.
Yeah,
Like
these are
damn
pedos.
ways.
These are pedos, yo.
Kids aren't gonna
PDF
catch
files.
this, but like adults, like when you watch it later, like oh wait, hold up, that's crazy. And then they have those little, pedo logos throughout, all the
All
Disney
those
movies.
Like
movies, yeah.
Madagascar, they got the symbol.
The little
for-
swirls.
Yeah.
They
They're sending
threw out.
dog whistles. That's all they are.
Yeah,
Whoa.
That's what
exactly.
they
Yeah.
do.
But it's
They've been
karmic
doing
debt.
this-
It's
yeah.
karmic debt. They got to show you because if they don't tell you, then it's off. It's on them. It's like you're selling a bag of apples with a sign that says poison apples, and if you buy it, whose fault is it?
Right.
Right.
Versus not having the sign on it, and you poisoned it and you buy it. Now it's on me.
So it's like you're covering your own ass, even
Right.
though you're doing evil. So do
Exactly.
you think that's why SpongeBob's driver's license is the address for Epstein Island?
Of course.
Yo.
So think about this, right? Bikini Bottom, right?
Wow.
Right.
What does he live under?
A rock. Pat lives under a rock.
So he lives under a pineapple.
Yeah.
Yes.
He lives in a
SpongeBob
pineapple.
lives
Yeah.
under
So you guys know
Yes.
what pineapple signifies, right?
No. Safe word.
Swingers.
On the
Swingers.
cruises, they hang
Swingers. They
pineapples?
hang
Yeah.
pineapples
Right.
Y'all wow.
because they are all
Downtown.
swingers. If you go to like Palm Springs or anywhere else, they hang pineapples to show that you're a swinger. Or you carry pineapples if you're on like a cruise and then you have a pineapple with you or a pineapple shirt. You're like, oh, they're swingers.
Sean's shaking his head over there. Yeah, you know. Wait, hold on.
He's like, hold on.
You know
Right.
something?
Let me get the mic. John, we got an extra seat if you want.
Yeah, but that's again, Epstein Island. The same thing with there's so much with Epstein Island because there's even a pizza a portable pizza parlor that's near Epstein Island.
Yeah.
That's called I believe it's called Pie something. I forgot. Pie something. Pie squared whatever. But it's a boat that sells pizza off the coast of Little St. James.
Yeah, and
you know,
did you see
pizza.
that clip with Ellen DeGeneres when she was hosting the Oscars one year?
And she's handing out pizza.
She's handing out pizza to everybody.
It was so weird, right?
Yeah.
So she goes around and asking all the celebrities, "Hey, what can I put you down for? What you got on this pizza?" And I'm like, "How is this funny? Or what is this about?" And it's just like now, fast forward, Pizzagate, obviously, but all these people were just talking like, "Oh yeah, you like pizza, and all this other stuff," and like cheese pizza, CP is child.
Yeah, that's oh my god, yeah, that's sick. But it's in our faces, and we see it different times. And like you said, whenever it comes up, there's another distraction to make everybody stop focusing on it. I think they expected the Diddy trial to get dragged out longer, and the fact that everybody was kind of civil at the end of the trial, like, all right, we're done, settled, and it's like that's what it is, and everybody's like, whoa, back to Epstein again. And I don't think they were prepared for it to shift back. So I think they're going to throw in another one under the bus because before the Diddy case was a big deal, they were talking about Quiet on the Set.
Yeah.
So I think the next one they're going to try to expose is going to be the WWE.
Ooh.
Because there's a lot of sexual misconduct that's happened throughout the years, and it's been so much that's been tucked under the rug. And I think they're trying to hold off on it a little bit because Vince McMahon and Donald Trump are close. They're friends.
Yeah.
And that could come back and reflect on him in a negative way. But I think that it's one of the big deals that they're about to bring up next to distract everybody if we keep talking about Epstein.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Epstein is like the big fish they want to fry, right? And that's why they always throw these other like red herrings out there. So I mean, they just released some of the other Epstein files today, and the Republicans blocked it, and now the Democrats just released it, and they said that Elon Musk is now in the Epstein files.
Oh,
did you guys see that?
No,
I didn't see
it just
that.
came out today. So they're saying that he's in the files, and they're saying that there's transcripts showing, and I've seen them, where they're talking about him coming to the island.
I think that's why they were all kind of fighting to get into the White House so they can cover their own ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants a pardon.
It's
That's
all
it.
of them.
They're all in
They're
it.
all on the list.
They're all in
It's
it.
safe to say. Just say they're all on the list, and
But
it's easier.
you know what's crazy is like when the pardons were going out that Biden gave, it was one of the weirdest pardons I ever heard, the one he gave his son, to pardon him on any crimes he did or any crimes we don't know that happened that they didn't find out about yet. So it's any future crimes he's pressed against also.
Yeah, the preemptive, pardon that he did. Yeah, with
And I said, how do you...
Dr. Fauci and all these people. So it's like, how do you... you went forward in time and just be like, let me pardon him, because he's going to do this, or they're going to find out about that. It's like, how does that even work? Why do you even do that? Like, that's just a telltale sign. Like, you're so guilty, it's not even funny.
And it's getting sticky because, like you said, it's in everybody's face. It could be cleaned up by just people just all coming out and like, all right, these are the people, they're all on the list.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a leaked list that everybody's seen, and then they said there was no list. Okay. But then
Then they said it was a hoax. And then they said, oh, we have these pamphlets. And then they went up to, the White House and all these, influencers, which I think they're paid off. They had these little, folders. Oh, here's Epstein files. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Like nothing. It was a nothing burger. Like what was in there? Like it was all for show.
Yeah, and then you got members of the cabinet that were saying like, I've got the files on my desk right now. I'm ready to release them. And then they say, I don't know what you're talking about. There are no files.
Yeah, playing
It's gaslighting to the 10th power at this point. Like they are playing us so hard right now. It's not even funny because then they said they came out not too long ago, a few weeks ago. It was a bunch of other Epstein victims that we've never seen before do a whole press conference like they're about to drop a mixtape and was like, they was like, oh yeah, we got our own list that we're gonna drop, and they're smiling and cheering. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, we've never seen them, and they're smiling. Like, what victim is smiling, talking about we're gonna drop our own list?
That's weird.
It's weird. And then, mind you, the real victims are not here anymore. Virginia Giuffre, she's dead.
Right.
2 other Epstein victims that died in Florida mysteriously the same way in bathtubs. They're dead. Pretty
Bathtubs take a lot of people.
Yeah. They like, it seems like people always drown. Matthew Perry, they die in water in
Whitney
bathtubs.
Houston,
Whitney Houston,
Marilyn Monroe.
Whitney Houston's daughter.
Yeah, her daughter drowned too.
Yeah.
Did
Elvis die in the bathroom?
Bobby Brown's daughter.
Elvis-
passed in the-
Elvis-
yeah.
in the bathroom.
Yeah, still in the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Oh, Dad. Yeah, you're right. I said that's the same daughter. I was like, that's right. I said Bobby Brown's daughter too.
Yeah, same person. Yeah.
My bad.
But they said, bathtubs are actually portals.
Really?
Yeah. We experienced that. Yeah. So if you look it up.
Together?
No. Hell no. Come on.
Fuck, bro. Come on, man.
Shit roll on today.
What kind of shit roll on today?
Right.
I know it's your birthday. You probably had some shots.
That's
No.
That's
I'm
wrong.
still sober. Hey, I got
Show
the
that
coin.
chip.
I got the chip to
show
prove
the
it.
Oh, okay. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I've
There we
been-
go.
I've been
I love
going
it.
to my
Love to
There we
see
go.
it.
There we
Love to
go.
see
So
it.
now y'all believe him?
Yeah. No, but we had a mutual friend that told us about their experience with this bathtub, and their dog died in the bathtub, and then after the dog died, they removed the dog. The drain was glowing orange
I know.
for like days on end. Like she doesn't know what it was, anything. So then we looked it up. Sure enough, other people have experienced this too. There's a glowing, like orangish light from the drain. And we looked it up, and it said that bathtubs are portals.
So, going to the movies, do you think that that's why Pennywise's eyes are the orange glowing light that you see in these drains? And that's how he lured the kids in also.
There you go.
Heavy.
Yeah.
This is fucking.
And
Could
plus
be.
Freddy Krueger, his hand came out in the
Yeah, in
bathtub
the
when he
drain.
came
Yeah,
out.
the bathtub. Yeah.
Heavy.
I think so. I think, bathtubs are probably portals or some sort.
Never having a bath again.
Yeah.
Right, sir.
Showers for the rest of my life.
Don't
That's
let him
it.
discourage you from a
Long
good
as
bath.
you
No. Hey, man, Soze, what do you got as a good theory, man?
Oh, as we were talking about kind of untimely deaths, are you guys aware of what happened to Martin Luther King's mother?
No.
Okay. This young woman, older woman at the time, of course, was playing the organ in church and got shot about 2 years after Martin got shot.
Oh, my God.
And the CIA just dropped the files last year, but they had similar to Malcolm, had a young Israelite black man, went to Ohio State University. He came in, shot her while she was playing the organ, shot the preacher, and I think one other innocent bystander. But in the church. And it's just, I think, without saying too much about, current assassinations and just things like that, it always seems as if in a lot of these instances, it's just the perfect shooter for the occasion. It's always some level of perfection where it's a blameless shooter. It's so well understood and put together and just cultivated even. You always just the Lee Harvey Oswald with JFK. You just get this, you get the perfect backstory. The motive is there. It
feels scripted.
Well, yeah, same
Perfectly
thing with
said.
Charlie Kirk. That kid didn't kill him.
No, did you?
Definitely
Okay,
not.
so I wanted to talk about the guy that was there. Did you hear there was a man in the crowd and he said, I shot him, I did it.
That's it. Yeah.
And then they put him down, and then later on they found out he didn't. But the same guy was there at the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Yo.
And he was also there for the Boston massacre, the bombing that happened.
Well, yeah, he called in a bomb threat to
Yeah.
after the Boston bomb. He called in a bomb threat to the Salt Lake City Marathon, and then he said, "Oh wait, just kidding." So he's a master distractor.
Yeah,
So
he's
that's his
in
job.
on something.
Little method
And
actors.
then, guess what? Then he goes down. They arrested him and then released him, and then they arrested him again because he had sex charges.
Oh yeah.
So
That's-
now all of a sudden they put charges on him. They
Now
already knew
he's
about
done.
the charges. They just they're tying up loose ends. That's what it is. Right.
Oh wow.
So
Destroys
that's the thing.
credibility.
So you have this guy who says Al Qaeda did it. He did the Boston or the Salt Lake City Marathon thing.
Yeah.
Now he does this, saying "shoot me" as he's getting arrested. Why would
1
you say
minute
that?
and 46 seconds right after it happens, he got arrested. How?
How that fast?
How?
With no murder weapon on him?
Right.
So where's the
Bullshit,
weapon?
man. It's bullshit.
And then you have this young kid. So it's like if you're looking for a person even remotely looking like him, you have this old ass dude and he's like not even fit to go up to scale a roof.
But I wouldn't believe it's either of them because, like he said, this is a skilled shot. Like it's the perfect shooter.
Yes.
And it's not like, there wasn't a big margin of error. This is he's from about 200 yards away,
And a
right?
But here's the
22-year-old
thing.
kid. Go.
Here's the thing. A human didn't shoot him.
Yo,
You know what shot him?
Break it down.
A drone.
that makes them.
There's a muzzle flash behind him. There's a video of it. You can see the muzzle flash, but where it's positioned, it's an event, which no human being can be up there. So he's a patsy, right? They put him up to it. They probably said, hey, we're going to kill everybody if you don't get up there right now.
Man.
And I can tell you about his background and why they coerced him to do it, the CIA. But meanwhile, while they were looking for somebody on the roof and whatnot, because they wanted, a patsy to run along, and people like, there he is, right? Meanwhile, the shot didn't come from the front and came from the back. That is an exit wound. So he hit him from here and it came out into exit wound. So there's military experts like snipers who did a whole assessment saying, I know what a shot looks like. That's an exit wound.
Yes.
Yeah, because the blood shoots out.
It shoots out, right?
Instead of like tucking in and then starting to spread afterwards.
Right. So I think he got shot by a drone. He was a patsy because you're not even expecting that. You're not even looking up. You're like, wait, a drone shot him? Because you're not even looking for that. You're looking for a shooter, right?
Yes.
So that's the perfect story. So how is it that this kid with a lazy eye, who's not even a sniper, he has a lazy eye, and and he has one perfect shot. You have one shot, and then he gets up there, changes his clothes, takes the shot, changes his clothes again, disassembles the rifle,
Impossible.
Wow.
puts the rifle back together, and throws it in a bush.
You saw what Candace said, right?
Yeah, it's
What did
completely
Candace
bullshit.
say?
She said that the dad came out, or she has sources that the dad said he never turned him in to the police. So that was a lie.
Yep.
And then what was the other one?
Well, the fact that going back to his history too, if you look into the kid's history, so he went to Utah State University. Okay. That actually has a program where the CIA has created a program called CAI.
Okay.
It's the Central Anticipatory Intelligence.
Like
So
Minority Report.
Exactly. Yeah.
They recruit there. And this kid gets a scholarship because he's super smart, 4.0 GPA, gets a scholarship, goes to the school, and then drops out after one semester. That's because they recruited him. What sense does that make, right? So, and then mind you, the person who set up this whole, program is a former CIA directorate. So you mean to tell me this kid went to a school who has a CIA program, drops out after one semester, goes dark, and then pops back up and kills Charlie Kirk?
Perfect shooter, as always.
But it makes sense if you're going to a school like that and they're recruiting and this is all strategic and planned out. A lot of this is been premeditated, and it wouldn't be like the first time. Since the 60s, they were doing tests for people with ESP. So I've actually seen and held one of the books that talk about the different tests that they do with cards just to see how tapped in you are for clairvoyance, being a psychic, and the other one I believe is
Remote viewing?
I think it's like it's telepathy, not, but it's something along those lines.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, telekinesis. There we go.
Telekinesis, telepathy. They have,
Yeah.
they tell you in the video games, like, remember Metal Gear Solid, where they had the psychic soldiers? That's real.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Again, they put it in the
Insane,
movies,
man.
music, video games, all this stuff. So,
It's like the 70s that's been a thing. Well
They're,
said.
yeah, they're
Okay.
letting everybody know.
Okay,
You
yeah.
got it.
Yeah, so they're constantly testing people just to basically see a recruit. And they even infiltrate certain people just because they got a certain look. And that's why they have their hands on certain people who are in Hollywood. And that's why they go along with these films and movies. One of the movies that really started a beef between two actors in Hollywood was Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. They used to be really close, and they did a movie together called Don's Plum. No one will ever hear about it. All the actors that were involved in it were blacklisted. They're not allowed to talk anywhere. They tried to pull that movie off every system so that way no one knows about it. But And yeah, it's Don's Plum. So they Tobey Maguire was upset because they favored Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie and he barely had lines. Going from that, now you've got James Cameron says, I'm about to do a movie. I want Leo to be my lead. And that's when they were going to do Spider-Man in 1997. Tobey Maguire heard and was pissed off. But then James Cameron thought about Titanic and said, look, I'll do Titanic instead, and took Leo to that project. And after that, immediately Tobey Maguire jumped on to take Spider-Man because he left from there.
Interesting. Crazy.
But they said it was because allegedly the government came in and infiltrated and shut down the production of the set in the middle of them filming Don's Plum and said, we need to talk to Leo.
Damn. They're heavily involved, you guys. And like, even going back to the Charlie Kirk thing, I don't know if you guys saw the correlation with Snake Eyes, the movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So like that movie predicted Charlie's death to a T. Like, so the movie Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage basically depicts that this detective goes to a boxing match, right? So he witnesses the Secretary of Defense get assassinated, getting shot where? In the neck. Guess what his name is? Charles Kirkland.
No shit.
Not only that, there was a blonde next to him in a white satin suit. What did Erica Kirk wear at the memorial? The same thing. She's a blonde with a satin suit. Not only that, the boxer in the match, guess what his name is? Tyler, the executioner. Tyler Robinson is the guy who shot Charlie Kirk. And he executed him.
What are the chances?
What are the chances? I'm just saying.
And then like the timing of when he got shot, he was in the middle of talking about gun violence in America.
Yep. They did that on purpose too. Because they could have killed him at any time, right? They could have like just poisoned his breakfast silently in his, hotel room. They did it on a public forum. They wanted to show this is what happens when you speak out and we're going to execute him in front of everybody. And they send a message to Candace Owens as well, because I think he was right over the target. And there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes. He was taking money from some people. And
also, the tagline in Snake Eyes.
And the tagline in Snake Eyes.
Everything
yeah.
except your eyes.
Believe everything except your eyes. That was crazy. What the fuck was that?
Is that a firework?
That timing was crazy.
Timing was crazy. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That sound like
There was a room outside for those of you watching.
Yeah.
We had
a simulation, y'all.
Yeah,
like the moment they said believe everything except with your eyes.
Right.
Literally outside. I thought it was like a mic drop sound. But so, man, so yeah, that freaked me out. But but no, like that's why I think it's crazy, because no matter what side you feel, in politics, or even if you don't give a shit, like it's still something to pay attention to, that you're not mocking this or feeling like heartless. You got to feel bad because it can happen to anybody now. Yeah. They can do this to anybody. So you should be very cautious, and it's supposed to scare people not to talk, but you could still talk, but make sure you're cautious is the main thing that I think is important for everybody. Yeah. I think he should have had more security there, especially with the content of conversations that he was having.
Yeah.
And it's just,
he had security
I think his
there.
security was in.
I think they was in on it because they was giving weird signals.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, they're doing weird signals and doing this and like all that, and then you get shot. Like, I don't know. We got to look into them, because it's very odd that you had two guys doing all these signals, and then if you pull up, military like hand signals, it actually alludes to like shooter or danger and all that stuff. So it's weird that they do that and then you get shot. So it's very strange. So
but so even if you want to say, okay, he was doing the signals because he was aware and trying to signal someone to be aware too, why didn't he jump in front of him or move him or anything if he was trying to actually secure him?
Just answer your own question.
Yeah.
Well said.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying. I think it was way, because you got to look at the landscape. Like, he wasn't a politician, right? Politicians get popped all the time. This dude was just an activist and, a content creator, if you will, and that's it. So for them to kill him on a public forum, that says something. So they're really trying to kill freedom of speech. They're trying to scare other people from speaking out, and they're sending a message.
They were trying to stop him from becoming president too, I think, because by the time he was going to get elected, if he were to run in 2028, you have to be 35 by the time you get initiated or
into office.
be eligible.
office.
He was turning 32 in October.
Young
He's
man,
younger than us?
Yeah.
He's 31.
He looked shot out. I was saying the same thing. I'm like, bro was born in 93. And I'm like, man, this kid looked shot out, bro. Like,
That's wild.
Oh, Gen Z.
bro,
Is,
hairline was like here.
yeah,
bro.
Gen Z is aging worse than millennials.
Yeah, they say one of the causes is because of the water. Like if you look at the pictures of somebody in the 80s that was in their 30s, they look 50. You look at somebody that was 50 in the 90s, you know, are 50 now, they look like they're 30.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure,
You know,
for sure.
Quan
like
is
blue
70
light.
years old. You'd never know.
Damn.
No.
75 is
Not
October.
Right.
Looking
Violated
good. Looking
him.
good.
Right.
It's also the screens too, because
Yeah.
like, you know, the blue light and, you know, it causes oxidative stress to the skin. It ages you faster. So they had a lot more screen time than we have,
For sure.
you know? So it's the digital versus the analog. So
Yeah, you're right. And it ties back in. That's the first point you were saying, digital and analog. We're from that generation. And
Yeah.
I think that's why things can't fly because the millennials, we know.
yeah.
So closing points, guys. We'll start off with you, Soze.
Nothing. Thank you, Maverick. Thank you, guys. Just, yeah, excellent idea exchange. And yeah, I don't choose to have fear of the times that we live in. I'm actually very, very blissfully optimistic about everything, which may be wrong of me to be that optimistic, but the truth has even been spoken today. It can happen to anybody, and I wouldn't recommend walking outside in fear of a drone strike because it's just, you know, anything can happen, bro. Like, and a proper response sometimes to your reality would be paranoid. I mean, if you really truly are running the numbers of how you could get in a car crash or how much more dangerous it is to hop on a plane and how your cost of mortality goes up when you do various things, the proper response is paranoia. And, you know, sometimes it is to go forward and live your life in any fashion as if it was your last, but more so along the lines of do what you were going to do anyway. Definitely do what you were going to do anyways, and just be fruitful about it, because you can get caught up in being in fear of the truth, because these things are very apparent and they are in your backyard. But go forward, learn what you want to learn, act on it if you choose to act on it. But yeah, try to put some of these truths that are out of your control somewhat, you know, in perspective, for sure.
Very deep. Well said. Phoenix?
To piggyback, stoicism is the way. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Stay in the middle. Transmute the energy so it doesn't overpower you, and find peace and share love.
Very well said. Devon?
I want y'all to just stay integritous and question everything. I'm the outcome specialist.
Yeah.
Mav?
Well, yeah. I would say, like he said, do what you're going to do anyways. I think that they're trying to send a message and we got to send a message back. And to be honest, preparation eliminates fear. So stay prepared, and, you know, the more you know, the less you're fearful. Because people are running around with chickens with their head cut off because they don't know what's going on. You're walking into a dark room not knowing what's in there, right? So turn on the light. So I think, you know, you have to reskill. I always preach that. The world is changing, and the more you know, the better off you'll be.
Yeah, and to say to that, I believe we need to just remember what the roots of the phrase woke means, not just being an activist for whatever cause that you're fighting for, and now that's woke because you have an agenda to push. It's more of understanding to see through the propaganda they put in your face so that way you can recognize the agenda that's at play. I think that's what we need to focus on when it comes to being woke and wake up, in the sense of, hey, stop being asleep to everything and being numb. Step out, ground yourself into the world, and pay attention to what's going around. So, hey guys, thank you again. Another great episode of Know Your Role. Appreciate you, Mav, Devon, Phoenix, Soze, myself. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
What's happening right now, consciousness is rising, so we all got to come together as a collective, raise consciousness and raise this frequency, because, you know, the other side is losing, and what's happening now is we're all becoming one. So, you know, like I always say, preparation eliminates fear. Make sure you guys question everything, because nothing is what it seems.